Kavanaugh with HIVHero.org and HERONEWS.org. I'm here with our Broadway hero, Eric Gunhus. How you doing, buddy?
Great. Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you here. So we're going to talk about something very special coming up this summer, which is Dancers for Good. It's happening in the Hamptons. We'll talk about that later. But we're going to talk to you a little bit now. So tell me where you're from and how you got started in the business.
Well, I'm from the Midwest originally. I'm from Iowa. And I left pretty young. I lived overseas for a good number of years. And after high school, I moved to Southern California, to LA with my family, and sort of started theater, was a theater major at Cal State.
Wow.
And started doing the whole Civic Light Opera circuit there, got my equity card in California, and got my first Broadway national tour from LA. It was the first national of Ragtime.
Oh, cool.
And I toured with that show for 2 years, and that show brought me to New York. And my first Broadway show was The Producers. The Producers.
Great show.
Which I did.
You were in the original cast.
Original company and the closing company.
And I was there. I was there. You've also done a couple other things. You did Anything Goes. You've done Billy Elliot, which is one of my favorites. You were in the original cast of that. Stephen Hanna, one of our really good friends. He was our ballet hero, our first ever ballet hero awardee. Love you, Steve. One
of the most beautiful shows. I mean,
right.
Who doesn't cry when Billy jumps into his father's arms at the end of that show?
Really great.
It was a great experience.
Okay.
Both the Billy Elliot and The Producers, best musicals, and fantastic shows.
So you've been doing this a long time, and then you decided to use your other skills. So you formed your own company, a special event company. Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, during the years that I was on Broadway, I always sort of liked to volunteer for Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS and was the event coordinator for whatever show I was on. And that sort of got my feet wet in sort of the event world. And Broadway was very good to me for a lot of years, but I wanted to try something different. And it seemed like it was a natural progression, because events is theater in so many ways.
Right, absolutely.
It's people coming together for one night, one moment in time. You're telling a story with a story arc. It's sets and lights and music and costumes and all of those things. So it's still very much in the theater world.
Okay, and how can we find out about your company? What is it called?
My company is my initials. It's EG Event Group, egeventgroup.com.
Okay, look that up. You need a wedding and a special event or something. This is the guy to do it. He's creative, and it's going to be better than ever. So check it out.
Well, my sweet spot is definitely sort of the not-for-profit sector in events, and that is actually what got me started doing this event that I do annually out in the Hamptons called Dancers for Good, and that's an event that actually benefits the Actors Fund.
Yes, so we're going to talk about that right now. Dancers for Good, this amazing thing. It's really interesting because we do Broadway and ballet, as you all know, and this is very not the same kind of event, but very similar as far as we probably know all the same people, from
small
the events
community
and stuff. But this is a spectacular performance in the Hamptons. You guys create a stage, or what do you?
No, the last few years we've been doing it in East Hampton. East Hampton has a beautiful facility called Guildhall, which is a storied brick and mortar theater.
Wow.
Has about 360 seats, balcony, and what we do is we bring about 40 dancers from about 10 different dance companies for one night only out in East Hampton.
Dancers have a calling. Our training builds character.
We are all the same animal. We will do anything that we can to help each other.
Some of the past years and how spectacular this event is, go to dancersforgood.org. So Eric, do you have any advice for young people that want to get in the business of theater?
You want to maintain your longevity, and certainly I've learned that from dancers more than anybody else. It's about having that discipline of taking care of your body, and it is your instrument. It is something that you really need to, with warming up and cooling down and thinking beyond that point of when you're no longer performing. Because I know that once I did that, once I sort of realized that I wanted to do something in addition to performing, it's using that time while you're working to hone your other skills, to also figure out how your artistic skills translate into the other parts of the world, you know.
So Eric, tell me something that no one knows about you.
Something that no one knows about me. Well, not many people know that I grew up overseas in Cyprus. Cyprus is a country that not very many Americans tend to domicile in, but yeah, I was this tow-headed blonde Iowa kid living in a small Greek-speaking island, and so that was kind of a fun upbringing.
So as you know, we're a website for newly diagnosed and helping people living with HIV. Do you have a message for young people out there about the importance of PrEP use and just being safe out there?
Well, I think, you know, of course, the advances that have been made in the availability of PrEP and managing, you know, the illness, it's all fantastic. But I think we never really need to forget what brought us to this point, and that we still need to take care of ourselves in as many ways as possible. And PrEP is not a license to be irresponsible.
Right.
It's all about still keeping your health at the forefront in all ways.
So Eric, I'm so happy that you're here because, you know, we love your organization. I think what you're doing is great. You're truly a hero and a Broadway hero. So thank you for coming and sharing your story with us.
Thank you very much. Good to see you, Michael.